What's up, fellas and ladies? It's time for Wake Up Mintzy, presented by the fine folks of Dude Wipes. One use of Dude Wipes will change your life. They're taking over the world from toilet paper. There's no reason to use dry, scratchy, crappy toilet paper ever again. Find Dude Wipes at Walmart, Amazon, Target, and all over the World Wide Web. They're sponsoring horses that win the Preakness. They're writing Forbes articles about them becoming $1 billion company. It's Dude Wipes Revolution, and we're all just living in it.
I don't know
I
if
am
I'm
your
going
host,
too high
Barstool
or
Sports.
too low, though.
I'm your host,
Can I
Barstool
see
Mintzy, joined
myself
by,
or no?
I hear Stu Feiner's voice in the background, but joined as always by Tyler Moody. Moody, we got you on the mic today from Louisiana. How we doing, bud?
Good to be back. Yeah, listen, bro. We've had some issues here on my end. My internet has been going crazy in Shreveport, so we had to do things a little bit differently last week. Appreciate Stefan stepping up and kind of getting us connected in the Chicago office so I could run things through the vMix computer. And just like there's been so many moving parts. And I'll tell you the most frustrating thing is whenever you have everything laid out, everything ready to go, and then your freaking internet won't work, bro. It's just the most frustrating thing. So I've got a new router. I've bitched at Xfinity. I think we are good to go. Fingers crossed.
Hell yeah. Well, I love to hear that positive energy. Going to drink some Stella Blue coffee. The only way to start your day. Shout out Big Cat. Amazing coffee. All right, let's do the damn thing. First of all, 9 a.m. start now. We've had some changes on the Barstool schedule. Mostly sports backed up to 10 a.m. So we saw that. It's good for everybody, for our production team, for Moody, everyone to back up from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I enjoyed that extra hour sleep. I actually woke up today about 6:15, 6:20 and just like smiled, Moody. I know you like this hour back too.
Yeah, of course. I'm a night owl. I'm the kind of person that'll stay up till 3 a.m. in the morning. So for me, this is much better, way more convenient, and I feel like I can bring a little bit more energy rather than being a freaking zombie this time of morning.
Hell yeah. Well, we're going to wake up, get our minds right as we always do. Bunch of stuff to get into before, and we're going to be joined by the source, Stu Feiner. And Stu, love having Stu on. He's a weekly guest here on Wake Up Mintzy. There's nobody better to bring the energy in the morning than your source, Stu Feiner. All right, a few things to start with. Had a big weekend, and I got to say this because I always am traveling so much and et cetera. Chicago's starting to feel like home now. It finally is after like I'm about 7 months in. But this summertime Chicago thing that everybody talks about, man, it's the realest thing ever, dude. It's like the weather. I mean, you're dealing with like 75, 80, 85-degree days, the breeze, there's no humidity. It's crazy. And like I'm used to South Louisiana, 100 degrees, sweltering humidity. And it's a different world up here in summertime. And, I've been hearing about it. So I moved up here just like, just wait till summer. You'll get the Chicago thing. And I really feel like that's kind of what's happening. And just had a huge weekend. We'll get to the NCAA baseball tourney in a minute, but first, shout out Pup Punk and PFT and Robbie Fox and Frankie Borelli and Roan and Nick Hamilton and Caroline. They had a sold out show at Joe's on Weed on Friday night, and man, it was rocking, dude. This thing, the energy in there, we got I say it all the time, we got the best fans in the world, the Stoolies, but the energy in there Friday night was just mind blowing, and they played an awesome set, bunch of old school covers. Ended it with Blink 182, all the small things, played like Good Charlotte, the anthem, all kinds of, I don't know, just a lot of 90s stuff. And after they played Teenage Dirtbag, PFT said, hey, we want you to come up to recognize you because Friday was my 41st birthday. And I was like, cool, whatever. So I walk up to the stage, and the next thing I know, PFT just puts me on the spot. It's like, you have to crowd surf, Mitzi. And I'm just like, I didn't see that coming. But in a weird way, Mitty, am I becoming like a professional crowd surfer? Because it's the third time in 3 months. I had the Frasco deal where my dumbass went stomach first and didn't know what I was doing at the Metro a few months ago. And then Frasco, when I emceed the Super Jam at House of Blues Noli, he was passing me around on the chair. And I bent the chair doing the Hava Nagala. And now he puts me on the spot with it. And they start playing Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit. And when the chorus hit, I just went for it. And, I think I was a little nervous again, but at least I did it back first this time. And, yeah, it went pretty good. So I guess I'm getting a little better at it, maybe. But I never really saw myself as much of a crowd surfer. So you just never know what's going to happen in life. But
yeah,
shout out.
I'm showing the crowd surfing video right here. It looks like you've learned your lesson. You didn't go cock down this time. You actually did it the correct way.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what the hell I was doing the first time. And, this time I still looked a little apprehensive. It's just weird when you have to like jump up on the railing and jump on there. That's still a little delicate. And then I'm also, I'm sure y'all can see, I'm just like holding on to my pants for dear life, not trying to give anybody too cheap of a thrill. But having said all that, you know what? It went great. And just shout out to PFT. The Pop Punk thing. Look, they've got a tour going on this summer. I know they've got shows. I believe I saw they've got a Columbus, Ohio one coming up in a couple months. There's a bunch of other ones, but check out Pop Punk. It's a lot of, old school, really good covers. But more than that, it's just you get to be with the Stoolies and the energy and Roan and just so much talented people, and had an awesome time Friday night. I went to like a really good Italian dinner at this Topo Gigio Friday night for like birthday dinner. Really enjoyed that. Uh, Saturday, we had a big turnout at the Barstool bar for crawfish boil. We were out there from 2 to 5. Shout out to Wrigleyville Crawfish. They did a really good job. I'll be honest, I'm a Louisiana guy. I didn't know what to expect for the crawfish in Illinois, but those guys are from Houston. They were really good size. They had good seasoning. Overall, I thought they were very good, and we had a big turnout for that. That was a lot of fun. I just watched a lot of the NCAA tourney, which we'll get into in a second. And then Sunday night, Moody, have you seen Marcus King yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, I went and saw him at the Salt Shed, and a lot of people love him. He's like a, really good guitar player, good voice. Kind of looks like Warren Haynes is like, if Warren Haynes ever had a baby son, it would be Marcus King, is how I describe it. But man, he had half of Chicago up on the damn stage. They had 3 guys with horns, 3 backup women singers. Man, it was crazy. And it was a super soulful show. Salt Shed Chicago, newer venue. It's a couple years old. Really, really like it. But the encore he did, You'll Always Be on My Mind, and then the band, The Weight. And it was just so good. So I had a really good time with that. And so that was kind of my weekend. And now I want to jump in before we get joined by Stu, NCAA tournament talk, because I say this all the time. Look, everybody in America is rightfully obsessed with March Madness. Hell, I love it too. The first weekend of the college baseball tournament's a first cousin of it. I know that college baseball, it's a South thing, and it's getting bigger, especially now that you can gamble on it. Shout out DraftKings. But it's so bananas that first weekend. I mean, you've got 2 freaking games on Friday. The double elimination, 16 regionals, 14 tournaments, and there were 4 regional finals yesterday. Some quick notes on it. Some of the surprises. First of all, Tennessee rolled, no surprise. Like the 1 seed, Kentucky, the 2, and A&M, the 3, all no problem. The best regional, and I know you saw it a lot, Moody, as a Louisiana guy, that North Carolina LSU saga was just unreal in Chapel Hill. And North Carolina won the first game on Saturday, knocking LSU to the losers bracket. LSU beat Wofford, came back and beat Carolina 8-4 Sunday night to set up a winner-take-all regional final. And that game was incredible yesterday. Carolina jumped out to a 2-0 lead. LSU fought back, was up 3-2 in the 9th. They put in their ace Gage jump, which is always interesting because he pitched Friday, and it's a guy that, he's your ace, one of your best pitchers, but he's never come out of the bullpen, and he's coming on 2 days rest. So it's like a totally different dynamic. Well, it looked like there were 2 runners on with 2 outs in the 9th, and it looked like he threw a 3rd strike on a guy that was bang, bang. And the next pitch, the guy hit a base hit to tie the game at 3-3. And then Carolina in the top of the 10th hit like a line drive that was near the wall, and LSU's right fielder, Brown, couldn't come up with it. He could have made the catch, but it wouldn't have been easy. And that got a double, and then Carolina ended up getting a run. And North Carolina escaped the number 4 national seed over LSU 4-3 to win that regional. But just the drama of it, that postseason baseball where every pitch matters. It was just incredible stuff. LSU, can't feel too bad for them. They just won the national title last year. But North Carolina moved on. I thought that was maybe the most drama-filled regional. Some other quick things. Biggest shock has to be the 4 seed Evansville, the Aces out of the Missouri Valley Conference. They win the regional that has Wake Forest, who almost won the title last year, and East Carolina, who is always awesome at home. Evansville is like 15 or 16 to 1 to win a 4-team regional, and they go and win it. Nobody saw that coming. They won 6-5 in the regional final. What do they get for their troubles? Now they get to go play the number 1 seed Tennessee, where they're going to be just like the most titanic underdog this weekend. But congrats to Evansville. That's part of what makes college baseball great. A 4 seed can go win a regional. It's such an unpredictable, good sport. Super regional matchups real quick, and we're going to Moody, do you have the updated odds to win the College World Series?
Yeah, I'm throwing those up for you right now.
Okay, yeah, we're throwing these up. DraftKings Sportsbook. Shout out DraftKings. They've got lines, run lines, over-unders, and your updated futures odds to win the College World Series. We're throwing them up right now. Tennessee 3-1, A&M plus 310 are your favorites. There's no value there. I mean, it's just as good as those teams are, and they're awesome. You can't bet somebody 3-1 in college baseball. To me, some longer shots right now. Kansas State pulled a big surprise going to Arkansas and winning that regional. Arkansas, the 5 seed. Hagen Smith, best pitcher in the country, allowed 5 runs in his last 7 outings total, and then he allowed 6 runs in the 5th against K-State. Worst time to have that bad outing. But K-State's like 75-1 right now. They're heading to Virginia in a super. I think that might be worth a flyer. And then West Virginia, playing for their coaches retiring, they got a first-round pick. They went out to Arizona and dominated a pretty tough regional. They are headed to North Carolina. I think long shot wise, I'm not sitting there saying K-State or West Virginia can win the College World Series, but I could see one of them getting in. And if you get 65 or 75-1, that's worth a little bit of a flyer. But that's kind of the main value I see. And UConn's 100-1, and I think Evansville's like 200 or 300-1 still. UConn baseball. I mean, I don't know. People need to start asking, is UConn a baseball school? I mean, second year in a row. Last year they won the regional at Maryland, and then they lost the super at Stanford. Then this year they went to freaking Stillwater, Oklahoma. Or no, check that. They went to Norman, Oklahoma. I've been getting those regionals confused. But Oklahoma, one of the best teams in the Big 12. Duke just won the ACC tournament, and UConn just rolls right through that regional. Nobody saw it coming. I do this every year where I disrespect UConn baseball, and then they make some kind of a run. They got to go to Florida State. They'll be a big underdog. I'm not sure they have value at 100-1 on the College World Series just because Florida State's going to be tough. But look, I keep doubting them, and I tweeted at Jack Mack, is UConn a baseball school? I mean, everybody just keeps talking about the fact they've won 1 million college basketball national championships, but I don't know, man. Seems like they got a pretty solid baseball program too. So the more you know. But super regional matchups: UConn, Florida State, NC State at Georgia. Look, I've hitched my wagon to the North Carolina State Wolfpack. I've got them big 35-1 to win the title. That was my biggest futures bet I've been giving out and beaking about. They went 3-0 in their regional. Took care of James Madison in the regional final. Beat South Carolina. Beat Bryant. They're at Georgia, the 7 seed. So I think NC State's got a good shot in that super. So going to be watching that one close. UConn, Florida State, NC State, Georgia. The Florida Gators snuck in the tournament at 28-27. And then these SEC teams, though, they made the national title last year, and they win the Oklahoma State regional, which definitely was a surprise to me because I went against them and should have never doubted the SEC. Florida heads to Clemson. K-State heading to Virginia, who won the Charlottesville, Virginia regional, knocking out Mississippi State. The other one's North Carolina, West Virginia. Texas A&M will be hosting Oregon as a big favorite. Oregon State at Kentucky. And then finally, Evansville at Tennessee. So that's your super regionals. We'll have a lot more on Friday. On Friday's show, we're going to break down lines and all kinds of stuff for the super regionals. All right, that's all I got. Now it's time to bring on the reason, the man, the myth, the legend, the reason everybody's here to see Wake Up Mintzy this morning. And I can't say enough about my relationship with him and the fact that he comes on every week and supports Wake Up Mintzy. We're so lucky to have the one, the only, source Stu Feiner. Stu, what's up? How are you this morning?
Ben, as always, first of all, I love you. Tyler, I love you. It's an honor and a pleasure. I love doing this show. I really do. Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah. Well, the pleasure is also all ours. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Stu. A lot of stuff to get into. I know this is one of your favorite times of year. I've been seeing all the pool videos, the 88 degrees. How are things at the pool on the estate?
I don't know, like a lot of people, they like going to the pool at vacations. They like going to the beach. I like staying at my house. I'm a homebody, and I love swimming in my pool. For me, it's the greatest enjoyment. Now, I'm a runner. I'm a walker. So, like I've had back-to-back very strong days, 10.8, like 5 days ago, then 2 days ago, a 5.4, yesterday, 5.4. And nothing is better than, well, I have 2 cabanas in my backyard, as you know, 2 showers. So I immediately, once I do my video saying that I did my miles, I run back, take a shower, and then jump right into the pool. And the pool being 88 is like an incredible giant sauna. Now, some people don't like that. Some people like 78-degree weather, 80-degree weather, 82. For me, 88 is perfect. It makes my body relax. Exercise feels great in the pool when I do 20 laps, which is very hard because 60 feet, you do 20 laps, good burn. And, you just Feel grateful for life. Can we start off this morning with a quick little prayer? Okay.
Let's do it. I'm all
God,
about it.
for everyone out there, thank you for everybody spending your time. I know how competitive the industry is and how everybody is really vying for your eyeballs. Thanks for being here. Let's go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thy will, not mine, be done. Amen, amen, amen. Okay.
Oh man, Stu with the serenity prayer to start Wake Up Mintzy today, man. I
Yes,
love
sir. Yes, sir. I mean,
love
that's really how I start. Now, I am not religious. Every organized religion, I believe, is a money grab and a scam. I believe it. It's for weak-minded people that are sheep that don't know what to do with their lives and they need to be led. But I am very spiritual. Spirituality is the key for me. I'm not judging anyone. I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong, although I just said it was wrong. But I'm not really saying that. I'm not judging you. What I'm saying is spirituality is the key to life. Being spiritual, being one with yourself, being one with God, one with the universe, one with the world. And really, everyone really should say, there by the grace of God go I. Because as we know, we've been in the rooms, both of us, I'm Overeaters Anonymous, I'm Gamblers Anonymous, I'm Narcotics Anonymous, you're Alcoholics Anonymous. When we go into the room and people share gut level, and when you have these little groups that you share with, and it's true, if you throw your problems into a circle and everyone throws their problems in, you don't want anyone else's problems. You're going to take your problems back. So a lot of people, Ben, really struggle with unrealistic expectations. And everyone's always in a rush. And everyone thinks that they should succeed quicker than they do. Well, let me tell you something right now. A, that's not true. B, be grateful for what you have. And C, be grateful for the opportunity to excel in life because of the internet. Because you could reach the world through social media in 1 second, and you have something to say, believe it or not, if it's worthwhile, if it's funny, if it's intellectual, if it's mind-blowing, eye-opening, or helpful, you can start your journey quite quickly. In the 70s and the 80s, much harder. You can't get on TV because it costs millions of dollars. You had to pay thousands or tens of thousands, 100,000 to get your message out on the radio or in newspapers. Now, 1 second, you open Twitter, open Instagram, open Facebook, open Snapchat, open TikTok, and you are as strong as anyone. So what I'd like to say is this, for people struggling out there, people feeling less than, people feeling that the world has passed them by, okay? That's not true. That's not true. You start with self-love. I know for myself, when I beat myself up, when I feel I didn't do a great job, when I feel, poor me, poor me, poor me, how I get out of it is take a deep breath, feel the spirituality of the earth, and understand I have to love myself, I have to trust myself, I have to be honest with myself, and then life will flow perfectly. So that's my quick inspirational message to all the Wake Up Mintzy people, to the people in Chicago, to the people in the world. And I want to say, I love you. And no, I love you. No, you don't understand. I love you. I got you back. I'm not a phony. I got you back, good, bad, or indifferent.
Love it, Stu. The Wednesday words of wisdom. Well, I guess it's hump day, so it doesn't really start your week. But love the energy this morning. I'm feeling the positive, grateful vibes everywhere too.
Yes.
I was just talking about how much I'm enjoying the Chicago thing. Glad to hear you're out exercising again. I saw a happy birthday. It was one of your son's birthdays.
Yes, my youngest turned 25, a
John's
quarter
birthday.
century. Yes, John Allen, my baby. And, you know, it's really mind-blowing because obviously you've heard my advice, okay, on life. First of all, the key to success, okay, is finding what you love and working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day at it until you perfect it. And then you have a perfect life. And I always share gut level. Never get married, never have kids. And my reasoning for that right now in 2024 is life is too hard. Life is unpredictable. You always can control yourself. You always can understand the responsibilities of yourself. But when you get married and when you have children, wow, that's a big responsibility. And you are powerless most of the time for your family and for your wife and for your children. Now, you could raise them right. You could raise them right. You could be a great husband. You could be a great wife. You could be a great partner. That doesn't guarantee anything. So right now in this world, it's very hard to have children. It's very hard to be married. And I would say you have to be extremely brave. So my point is that your children never asked you, hey, should I come into this world? So when you have your children, for me, your responsibility for the rest of your life is to your children. I mean, that's it. I mean, that really is it. It comes before really yourself, okay? Because these kids, you brought them in. You brought them in. You're responsible for them forever, to be honest with you. And you're not in control. You have no control. You're powerless. So by the grace of God, thank you, God, I married right, okay? Been with my wife 46 years, okay? Been married 36 years, okay? Her 63rd birthday is upcoming Monday, June 10th. Happy almost birthday, Sandy. But my point is this. If you do not marry right, if you have children and the children run roughshod over your life, anything can happen and it could ruin your life. So I would just say, I'm blessed. I'm eternally blessed to have 4 amazing children. And to be honest with you, I give all the accolades to my wife because she's even keel. She's even minded. She's extremely smart. She is very not a gambler. You know what I mean? Like she wants to dot her I's, cross her T's, and look at the worst situations so she can prepare for it, where people like you and me, we run by the seat of our pants.
No doubt about it.
You know what I'm saying? We can make commitments to God, to our parents, to our boss, to the world. And then 5 seconds later, you know, we're looking for an 8-ball, we're looking for a ball, we're gambling, we're playing poker, and we forgot what we just did.
Yeah.
Not my wife. So my wife has really saved my ass in so many levels. And my children are very high functional. They have great lives. They have partners. They're very functional. They earn a living. They work extremely hard. They've been very successful. And it's because of my wife. So my youngest, it's amazing. Ben, I got 35, 33, 29, and 25-year-old boys, men. And it's unbelievable. How can I be a father? A guy that walks around looking to fuck everything that walks. You know, my opening line is, hey, you know, you've never been fucked by me. Do you want to roll? You know, like that's a psycho. I'm looking to have fun every single day. I'm looking to burn every single amount of money I make every single day. That's what I do. I live like I'm going to die tomorrow. Not good parenting. Not good way to live. How I've lived my life like this and got away with it is probably the 8th wonder of the world. It's probably a miracle. That's why you and me are symbiotic twins. We're soulmates. Nobody fucks up and does better fucking up than Stu Feiner and Ben Mintz. We're like train wrecks. We should be in jail. We should be dead. We should be ostracized. Instead, we're living legends. Instead, men want to be us. Women want to be with us. And we're both great fucks. So happy birthday, John Allen. That's my soliloquy. La, 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 la. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, my only thing, I'm almost crying. I'm laughing so hard. My only thing I would say is you're talking about the wife and kids thing. I mean, like, even though I'm like 41, I still at some point want to have kids. I think that it's like I want the full journey and human experience.
Yes.
And I feel like when I'm like 70 or 75, God willing, I mean, I could die tomorrow. You know, you and I both know that.
Yes.
But I mean, I would like to have
and some people
legacy.
are hoping for that. Some people are hoping that me die and you die right now. Yes. But go ahead.
Sorry, but I just always feel like that's like the full human experience on Earth. Like I feel like, you know, and luckily I'm a guy, so you can kind of do it later. But I still feel like I'd like to, you know, I don't know. That's one thing that I still, it's kind of in the last couple of years I've realized I kind of want. But
well, you know, absolutely. Well, I would say in your 40s, maybe that's the time I would give advice, maybe to look at what vagina is available. how it's going to work, because sex is really the most important thing to a partner. I mean, that's the bottom line. If you can't fuck, you can't make the other person come, I mean, you're pretty much useless. You know what I'm saying? With everything available right now, with my method of the perfect hour of sex, 15:30, vibrators and everything, you have to make them come. Once you make them come, then you own their heart. Once you own their heart, then you got to really sum up, am I going to make a full responsibility and a full commitment for the rest of my life to my children? How I see the youth of America, and I don't blame them because life is so hard right now. I grew up in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. You grew up 20 years later, but still you felt it. We had carefree life. We worried about nothing living in America. We worried about nothing. Now, you could be blown up on a bus, on a train, flying a plane. There's really consequences to the world. And there's so much discourse. And now everything is out in the open, and people don't like people that are not like themselves. The world is not inclusive. We're inclusive. I'm inclusive. You're inclusive. But most people are not. So I would suggest, Ben, when you do it, be mature, be responsible, because I really believe this as my mission statement, okay? If you're not a good parent and you've chose to have children, it doesn't matter what you do well. It doesn't matter. That's why I so respect Dave Portnoy. So respect him. Because when people put him against the wall and go, get married, have kids, he knows his skill set. That's not him. It's not going to happen. That isn't him. He focuses on being amazing, being great, saving the world, being the ultimate entertainer, being the winner, being inclusive. But he does not want to worry about children. He doesn't want to worry about a wife. He wants to bang young women like he is. He's one of the greatest fucks ever. His body count is infinitum. And God, I'd want to, listen, if I want to come back as something in the earth, I want to come back as his dick. Really, I mean, Portnoy's dick must be one of the greatest things in the world to come back as. But my point is, he understands that responsibility. There is no pizza reviews. There is no hanging out with Big Cat and talking about business, because if he is a child, similar to how he treats his dog, Miss Peaches, that's the most important thing in his life. He's not willing to do it, and he's right for not wanting to do it. The man is an icon, has arguably the greatest life ever. You don't need children. You don't need a wife. Plenty of vagina out there. There's a line from here to fucking China to get in Dave Portnoy's pants. And I really think you have to be responsible, Ben, when you're looking for the wife and you're looking for that commitment. Obviously, prenuptial, obviously. And when you have children, your life is no longer yours. Your children come first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Because, first of all, how about if they're born with a disease? How about if they're born with a deficiency? How about if they're dumb as fuck? How about if they're crazy? How about if they're murderers or drug addicts or criminals? Hey, still your kid. Still your kid. Can't turn your back on your kid because it didn't work out right. You're guaranteed nothing. So I'm saying, if you're going to have children and you're going to make that commitment, which I think is insane, to get married, understand the consequences and understand stepping up, that your children and then your wife come before you, come before your job, come before your dreams, your hopes, your desires. And it's very, very hard to be married and have children. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right. The words of wisdom from Stu Feiner to get your Wednesday going. I want to go over to the sports world a little bit because
let's go.
A couple things. Well,
finally, NBA.
Yeah, NBA Finals.
Let's go.
So NBA Finals start tomorrow night.
Yes.
Mavs at Celtics, game one. Celtics are 6.5-point favorites. Celtics are minus 215 in the series. The Mavs plus 175. Come join me, Nikki Smokes, and Megan Making Money. We're going to be watching it at the DraftKings Wrigley Field, right by the Cubs Stadium. Tomorrow night, the game's at 7. We'll be over there about 6:30, 6:45. Come hang out with us. We're watching game one of the NBA Finals. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you hadn't checked out the DraftKings Wrigley location, it's literally right by Wrigley Field. It's freaking epic. They've got just great service, but a million TVs, sound. It's a lot of fun. We did March Madness, the first round of the NCAA tournament over there. I can't wait to hang out with the Stoolies tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, game finals, NBA Finals, game 1. Myself, Mega Making Money, and Nikki Smokes. Come see us. We're going to have a big time at DraftKings. All right, we'll start with the NBA Finals, then we'll get to the NHL, and then I've got some gambling advice questions to ask you.
Let's go.
NBA Finals. Okay, the Kyrie Irving story. Dave Portnoy's basically said it's Armageddon with all the beefs with Kyrie and the Celtics days, and now he's in the finals with the Mavs. Feels like the Mavs are kind of disrespected the whole way. They were like 14-1 before the playoffs. I thought they benefited from a good draw because they played a reeling Clippers team and then a young Thunder team. But man, they stepped up. I mean, the T-Wolves, it felt like the T-Wolves Nuggets might be the conference finals, that 7-game series with the Nuggets, being the defending champs. But the Mavs take care of the T-Wolves in 5. Luka Doncic, one of the superstars in the NBA. Kyrie stepping up big in the fourth quarter. But they're a big underdog here. The Celtics ran through the East. They're the best team in the East all year, led by Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Celtics minus 215. What are your thoughts on this series?
Well, I mean, if you actually look at the West, okay, Denver Nuggets, NBA champions, just had nothing left when it came down the stretch. They had nothing left. I think they were tired. I think it's extremely hard to win back-to-back championships, as they showed you. And, they got eliminated. Then the other two epic teams in the West, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder, are extremely young. Extremely young. And really, that's why no young team ever wins the championship. So when Dallas is representing the West, I don't think it's that much of a surprise. I think that finally Kyrie and Luka are playing phenomenal. I think the other role players are playing unbelievable right now. They made a couple of major pickups at the trade deadline that put them over the top. And we're seeing right now that Luka probably is the best player in the NBA. Also, Kyrie as Robin, as he played the role with LeBron, might be the best number 2 player ever. He's selfless. He just wants the team to win. He's not showboating. There are no accolades. There's nothing. He just wants to win. It's amazing how a man has really, his reputation was shredded. He was a fraud. He was a joke. He was a bum. He was hated. And now he's looked upon as, wow, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, opened his mouth. Everyone went for his throat. And now he's the ultimate team player. I mean, when Mark Cuban gave him, what they give him, like $200 million? They gave him that max contract.
They gave him a lot. Yeah, a lot. And everybody laughed at it. They got universally like, what are they doing? They'll never win with Kyrie.
Exactly. You lost Jalen Brunson. Why are you giving Kyrie the money? He's going to be a destroyer of the team. So not true. Big home run for Mark Cuban. Congratulations. They got Jason Kidd as an epic coach, one of the greatest point guards that's ever lived, ran the point for Dallas, and they beat LeBron that first year that Miami had that best team together. So they're very dangerous, and I agree that they are really an underdog in this spot, and shocking how well they've done. But they have the talent, and as you know, in the NBA, if you have one ultimate player, one superior player, Luka can be similar right now to Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Unstoppable. Has the ball in his hands. You can't stop him. He could shoot the 3 from, anywhere. He could play with the body. He could play his back to the ball, his back to the basket. What can he do? He can do it all. So I think Dallas is going to be very, very formidable. I think Kyrie, of course, is going to want to make a statement that he's not a bum, and he would love to eliminate Boston. But let's actually look at the Celtics. Now with Kristaps Porzingis back, he's playing in game 1, that opens up their offense. The reason that the Celtics are so epic, are unbeatable, really are a lock to win the NBA championship is because of Kristaps Porzingis. Because you can't guard everyone. You cannot guard everybody on that team. You have an all-star starting 5, maybe the best ever. God forbid Porzingis is back and he could drain the 3. It's over.
He stretches stretching the floor.
It's over. It's over. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen. And we've seen Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, for some reason, and it's mind-blowing, choke. Choke in
I
this
feel like Jaylen
exact
Brown more than
spot.
Tatum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tatum wasn't big 2 years ago, and he wasn't big last year either. So in other words, if he choked, it could happen. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So there's so many storylines. Like you said, for me, I cannot wait to watch Dave Portnoy in action. Dave Portnoy is the show. I don't give a fuck about the Celtics. I don't give a fuck about the Mavericks. I give a fuck about Dave fucking Portnoy because he is the show. Matter of fact, I think if the NBA was smart, they should have the Dave Portnoy camcorder. Every second of the entire game in the top left, the top right corner, Dave Portnoy should be featured all the time, every minute, every second, and ratings will go through the roof because that's how good of an entertainer Dave Portnoy is. You might not like him. You might hate him. I mean, if he banged your daughter, and tore her vagina, you might not like the guy. But the point becomes this. He's the greatest entertainer ever. He's must-see TV. And for my money in the NBA championship, I don't give a fuck about Luka. I don't give a fuck about Kyrie. I don't give a fuck about Tatum or Brown or Porzingis. I give a fuck about Dave motherfucking Portnoy.
And update on Dave. So he has futures bets. If the Celtics win, I think he wins. It's over $1 million, or maybe $1.5 million, because he did a brilliant move. He parlayed Scotty Scheffler at plus 550 at one point to win I think it was the RBC Heritage. It was a tournament after the Masters. And he got him on like Friday, plus 550, because the Celtics' odds to win the title have been so bad because they were the clear front runner in the East. There wasn't the most value. But by parlaying it with Scheffler, he's got a huge future to win like $1.5 million because Scheffler won that tournament. And then this is a perfect time to turn our attention to the NHL Finals because he's on the Edmonton Oilers to win the Stanley Cup Finals too. And you look at the run Dave's on. I mean, he bet $1 million on Michigan to beat Bama. He bet like $500K on Washington to beat Texas in the semis. He had UConn to win the college basketball title. He had Scheffler huge to win the Masters. And now he has futures on the Celtics to win the NBA Finals and the Edmonton Oilers, who are playing the Stanley Cup Finals against the Florida Panthers. I mean, this is like an all-time historic run. He's literally got a shot at every single future in a row. I've just
never seen
really seen anything like it.
For $1 million in the Super Bowl too. I mean, he's about to win
$7.5 million.
I
think $500K.
I mean, he literally could win $7.5 million. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I've never seen this run because, listen, he is a professional gambler. He's really an entertainer. No entertainer has ever run a run like this for the world to see. It's posted online. It's not cloak and dagger. There is no paywall. He's showing you what he's got. Thing about Dave, again, you have to respect it. When Dave loses millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars, I don't know what he's lost in his career. I would give or take, a good number would be between, I'd say 15 and 35
I'm not going to speculate
million.
on that.
No, but I know it because I watched him my whole life. He shows it to you. He says it. There's no shame, blame, or regret with him. It's what he does. Now, on this insane epic winning streak, he might establish himself. If the Celtics win, which, of course, not a lock. If Edmonton wins, which is going to be 10 times harder because Florida is a much better team than Edmonton, not a lock. But if he pulls it off, I'm going to say right now, he's going to go down as the greatest gambler ever, the greatest entertainer ever, and the best fuck ever. That's the 3-team parlay. That's the epic threesome, and I'm pulling for Dave Portnoy.
Oh, hell yeah. No, I can't wait to follow it, but we'll be keeping a close eye. I actually it's funny. I tried to get – so my big future of the college baseball, I mentioned it, was NC State at 35-1 to win it before the tournament, and they went 3-0 in the regional. Now they're like 18-1 going to the super regional. I got Big Cat on it. I texted Dave trying to get him on it. He ignored me. Can't blame him, especially with my, not always best sports gambler. But at least we got to play.
2 years ago, you cost him like what, $3 million?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know if it was $3 million, but it was a lot.
It was a lot of money.
It was a good bet. But
you went like 0-30.
That was the first strikes and gutter.
No. I'm not saying you're not great. I'm not saying you're not in the groove last year and this year. I'm saying
not this year.
2 years ago was one of the biggest epic fails I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen someone lose so much money for someone and almost get fired because of losing content. It was almost you. So, I mean,
2021, 2022, I won like 50 units in the tournament. But, but the thing is, you know this about this
3 years ago. Gotcha.
You know this about this business, though.
Yes.
It's like when you lose, no one can quit talking about it, but when you win, everyone forgets in 2 months. It's the
Correct.
most "what have you done for me lately" world ever. Like, you can go, and I've seen you do this, where you'll go on a 4 or 5 month run where you can't lose, and you'll have a bad 2 to 4 weeks, and nobody remembers, like, the fact that you won 4 to 5 months in a row. It's
Story of my life.
literally, you're only as it's like the old mob thing. You're only as good as your last envelope. I
Story
mean,
of my life.
yeah, it's that's what it is to a T. And I want to ask you, because a lot of times I like when you give advice on here. So I had a bad weekend on the NCAA tourney, and I'll never learn, because the thing you always preach, and I know because I've been doing it forever, and yet I can't do it, is like the opening weekend of the NCAA tourney when you've got 64 teams playing, and there's literally 32 games Friday and 32 games Saturday. The way to do this well is, you always say this: you pick your 3 to 5 best ones when you've got a whole board, and then you go big on them. Well, my dumb ass just has to just play small on all these games because I want to watch them for entertainment. And I know it's all about, like, are you doing this for entertainment, or are you doing this to try to make money? And I'm clearly doing it for entertainment when I'm getting trigger happy playing high volume, because no one's going to win when they make 20 or 30 bets in a day. It's never going to happen. Yet I can't help it. And that's ridiculous on my part. And then I end up getting just did not go well this weekend. But the thing more isn't that it didn't go well this weekend. It's that I know better than doing that, and yet I keep doing it. So it's like all about discipline, and I don't have any.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the reason that DraftKings gave Dave, 25, $50 million speculative. I don't know the exact number, but it was, it was a big fucking bag, because no one wins. I mean, no one wins directly because of what you just said, because the conflict within yourself is, I want to have fun. I want to have action. I want to have volume. And you literally lose sight of what you're supposed to be doing, which is to win. So in other words, 1-0 every week. If you could load up on 1 game a week and you win, then all the other games you bet for pennies and you're still a winner. How many people can do that? 99 out of 100 cannot.
Yeah.
9,999,000 out of 10 million cannot. You are a professional gambler. You are a winning gambler. You pull Ben Nets up on the poker site.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Almost $700,000. Not 7,000, not 70,000, 700,000. So you're a proven winner. But again, when you come into sports gambling, discipline is so hard. Your emotions run wild. It is so much fun to just play the board. But again, you have to deal with the consequences: pain, suffering, losing.
It's the same thing as like the casinos. They want you to keep playing over and over again because they get you on the juice, and that's what gets you in the sports betting. It's like the 5-10% advantage they have on it. If you keep coming back, that's going to just eat you up over time. And, when playing blackjack or craps, it's the same thing. They just want to keep you in there for 5-10 hours. And like the only real strategy to beat this stuff is just hammer big and then get out of there. And
correct. And exactly. Dana White shows it. Dana White says, like, and I've used the Dana White system probably, the last decade. Okay. I don't really gamble heavy money no more, but when I do, let's say I'll go into a casino. Okay. And I'll take a $50,000 credit line out. Okay. I go to the crap table. I might be there for 6 minutes and I'm walking, because the minute I'm up, I'm out of there. Now, all my expectations to make $1 million, no, I'm never going to do that. 500,000, no, I'm never going to do that. But if I make 3,000, 6,000, 10,000, 15,000, that's a lot of fucking money. That's real money. That's what people make in a fucking week or a month, even though it's not what you and me make. But bottom line is this: discipline is so hard. And the second you're up money, you have to pull it off the table. Then you could still gamble all day, but gamble pennies. So money management has always been the key to gambling. And that's the hardest thing. That's why 99% of the world can't do it. They don't do it. Like the first time I was ever on Pardon My Take, and Big Cat and PFT and Hank looked at me like I had 3 eyes, because I said 1 game a week. Load up on 1 game a week. And Big Cat said, I can't do that. PFT said, I can't do that. Hank said, I don't want to do that. They're betting the board every single day. A, they're doing it for entertainment. B, they're doing it because those 3 arguably are the 3 greatest entertainers in the world, behind Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, I agree.
So they like the action. They like to be involved. They like the energy. they have bankrolls so they can fail and pay. I mean, none of them are betting over their heads. You know, they bet a lot of money, they lose a lot of money, but they pay their debts. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
they
the
make a
bottom
lot,
line.
yeah.
They pay. But in other words, their point was, God, I want to bet the board, Stu. How can we bet the board? And it's impossible to bet the board. I mean, that's why I have a paywall at stufeiner.com. The biggest bettors in the world for almost 5 decades have paid me consistently year in, year out, because they know I'm a high volume guy when I'm throwing games out there. But when you want to bet and play for money and win, you're betting 1 game a week. You're betting 1 game a week, maybe 3 games a week, and maximum 1 game a day.
Love it. The advice from the source. Discipline is the key to sports betting. As always, we love our partnership with DraftKings. Reminder, come join me, Nikki Smokes, and Megan tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at DraftKings Wrigley Field. If you hadn't been there, it's awesome. Amazing setup. Last thing I want to get into before we let you go. You know, Stu and I always, it's like hilarious because we're always texting each other on the health stuff. I'm getting back on getting back on the eating healthy wagon here. How are we doing? I know you had a big birthday dinner. That doesn't count. But you're back exercising again. You're feeling good. Your back's feeling good. You feel like you've got things headed the right direction?
Yes, well, even at the birthday dinner, I had no sugar. Even though I ordered a ton of carbs for the family and for the table, I had very little carbs. So I ate pretty much squeaky clean. And now, you know, my goal is anywhere between 35 to 50 miles a week, fast walk or jog. Has to happen. And then I'm adding weights and planks into my workout.
Oh,
you know,
nice.
push-ups, sit-ups. And that's really how I feel. I feel fabulous doing it. It's extremely hard. For me, my triggers are the sugar and the carbs, because that's what gets me in trouble.
We're the same. We're the same person.
And that's what I have to stay away from. I just want to say something. I was very depressed this morning. Excuse me. A tear came to my eye and I felt less than. And the reason is, on Facebook, they have these memories. And last year, this exact date, last year, weigh-in Monday, I was 183.
Wow.
183. So I'm 12 pounds up from 183. Now, there is such a difference between 195 and 183. I mean, first of all, my penis looks bigger, because it is. Second of all, I'm a much better fuck. Third of all, I'm a nicer person. I'm a nicer human. I smell better. I put on that cologne. I make sure I dress properly. As a fat pig, which is pretty much what I am right now, I don't give a fuck what I look like. I don't even have deodorant. Hey, if I smell like Limburger cheese, get the fuck away from me. I didn't ask you to kiss me. I didn't ask you to hug me. You know, it's a six feet zone. Get the fuck away from me. So I'm very depressed that I thought I'm doing well at 195. You know, like you and me, the same thing. When we're not all worst, my high's 262. Your high's what?
Like
almost 300? Right.
Yeah.
Over 3 beans. So in other words, our lowest is how your eyes and my eyes, your head and my head were. Well, we're not as bad as we used to be. We're not as bad as we were. But in reality, we're both morbidly obese, fat slobs. And that's not how we see each other. Like, I swear to God, Ben, I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I look at myself in the mirror, I have beautiful, God-given bedroom blue eyes, and I say to myself, fuck, I'd fuck myself. I mean, I'm not gay, I've never sucked dick, I would rather die than suck dick or get fucked up my ass. But if I was going to turn the corner, before I, let's say, made love to Frank the Tank and made love to you, because you would be my 2 soulmates and my gay boys, I'd fuck myself. You know, I would make love to myself. But reality is that's not how the world views me. They look at me as a 63-year-old morbidly obese human that if I was 2 inches shorter, I'd be perfectly round. And pretty much I'm grotesque. But that's not how my eyes look at myself. So that 183 this morning, a year ago, really hit home. So I'm going to be tighter on my food. And I pray to God for your success. I pray to God that you get down to that drop dead goal weight where you have a line around the block like Dave Portnoy does to get in his pants to suck that hog. And, you know, you deserve it. Just like Dave deserves it, you deserve it.
No, you're right, though. The point you're making, I agree with. It's like the fine line between holding yourself to a standard, but then it's like easy to be like, yeah, like my thing, I'm I was like 237 was my lowest last year when I was like really running. And I've still been running a couple days a week and like lifting a little, but like not good enough. I've been doing the like 3 days a week, which is way better than none because I haven't like totally gone south on it. But, like the last weigh in, I was like 249, 250. So I'm up 12 or 13, but then I look at it like, well, I still am a hell of a lot better than I used to be, but that's still not good enough. Like, it's like you got to hold yourself to standard. And I worked so hard to get into XL shirts, and now my XLs are tight again. And that was like my whole thing was like, I threw away when I moved up to Chicago, I threw away I took 7 full garbage bags of stuff to Goodwill that were like old double XLs. I was like, we don't need this anymore. We're uncluttering our life when I moved. And then now I'm like, the XLs are like a touch too tight. And like, I'm not trying to say I need to weigh 180 pounds, even though that's what I should weigh. Like, I'm not trying to hold myself to unrealistic expectations, but I should be 220 or 225, and
right.
if I did that, lift, run, that's what I should be. And so either way, I'm feeling good still. And this summer, it's going to be a great summer. There's so much to look forward to, and no better time than this. So let's get after it.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, we're glorious failures in the eyes of God. Everyone in the world validates our struggle. People that are compulsive overeaters like ourselves, they understand that's the hardest disease in the world. I mean, listen.
It's that carb thing.
Listen, but when you're a drug addict, when you're a gambler, when you're an alcoholic, okay? I want to say this right now. When you're a sex addict, okay? You don't need to ever have sex again. You don't need to ever drink again. You don't need to ever drug again. You got to eat. You got to eat.
That's a good point.
You got to eat.
Cold turkey food. You're right. That's a good point. I never thought of that.
So you got to eat. So for me, that's the hardest disease by far. Not even close. Not even if I don't ever need to buy a kilo because I get a good price. It's 26,500 now, and it's pure. It's a brick, and it's pure. I don't ever need to do that again, okay? But I do need to every morning, every lunch, every dinner, make a decision. Am I going to have a little sugar? Am I going to have some carbs? Am I going to have fry food? So it's a very difficult commitment. Now, as we know, I know, once we surrender on a daily basis, life is manageable. But I think compulsive overeating is 10 times harder than any other disease because I am dually addicted. When I pray in the morning, I say to God, please, God, give me the strength to be abstinent from my compulsive overeating, my gambling, my drug addiction, my sexual behavior, my abusive language, my compulsive spending, and my selfishness. So I'm dually addicted in a lot of areas, similar to the world. That's why the world loves me. The world knows I'm a glorious failure in the eyes of God. I share my struggles. Like, people do not want to see all my successes. They don't give a fuck about my successes.
No, people I do. That's what we do.
They want to see my failures and how I recover. They want to see your failures and how you recover.
They see them.
That's the bottom line. That's why you and me are, symbiotic twins. We're soulmates, baby. We're hung like hogs. And, if we fucked your girl, she'd know what she's been missing. That's really the bottom line. So keep your girl away from us. That's really what we got to say.
Well, I don't know what better to note to end on than that. I want to mention for tomorrow. So fun Wake Up Mintzy guest for tomorrow. Neil Francis, upcoming superstar in the music world, going to join us in studio. He's been blowing up lately. Give him a follow on Instagram and Twitter. But he kind of looks like a cross of like a young Mick Jagger and Jim Morrison. He looks like super slick. He like rocks the robe kind of thing on stage, plays the keys, a real smooth voice. But check him out. He's going to join us in studio. So we're going a little musical direction.
Nice.
Looking forward to having him in here tomorrow. And then Friday, we're going to have a big super regional and NCAA tournament breakdown on Wake Up Mintzy. But hey, we're 9 o'clock a.m. every day now, or we're Wednesday through Friday this week. But 9 a.m. going forward. Love that. Tyler Moody, shout out. Thanks for everything in Louisiana.
Thanks, Tyler.
And we couldn't do this without our sponsors, Dude Wipes and Stella Blue. We always appreciate your support. Go support Dude Wipes. All you have to do is use it once, and then your whole life's going to be different.
I want to say one thing, which I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud, and it shows maturity, and I'm so impressed. Because most people, I don't know if you read the comments. I read every comment that's ever been said.
Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do that because that's a rabbit hole for me.
Okay, well, Big Cat said never do that. I do it because A, I love blocking people. B, I love shredding people. And C, some of these people that comment poorly about me and about other people, I fuck their girls. So I'm pretty good with that. But people have complained incessantly about you looking at your phone while you're doing your show. And they look at you down on that. They're like, Ben, what the fuck are you doing? This is your show. We don't give a fuck about what's going on your phone. And you have not looked at your phone once this entire show, nor I don't even know where your phone is. So can I just say, from the bottom of my heart, so proud of you. Such growth. I don't know if Tyler cracked the whip. Tyler,
No, he
did
got
a
on
great
me.
job.
He got on
Or
me.
I
The
don't know
only
if it's
time,
from
the only
yourself.
thing I did, I took a picture of you when you were on to say Stu Feiner.
No, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. But you're because you're present. Most people say, "Hey, Stu, is Ben even fucking there when he does his show?" I say yes. They say no because they send me, "Hey, look at this 5-second clip. He's reading something. Who the fuck is he talking to?"
No, if I'm reading, it's like DraftKings odds.
Here's what I'm saying. Extremely impressive. The show runs much better.
Yeah.
There's more respectability, and it shows that you really care. You know what I'm saying? Because people know that, you have God-given money, you have God-given talent. Worst comes to worst, you could roll into a Las Vegas hall and win money. So you're, bulletproof, but it's nice that you're really showing you're giving that extra special effort.
Thank you, Stu. I appreciate that.
And
I have
thank
that
you,
like
Ben.
ADD thing real bad. And
Yeah.
so like I have to like make concerted efforts to be present. I mean, that's like a daily struggle for me. And that's a lot of what you talked about with this world now.
Yes.
It's just this, we're in this fighting for attention thing, this social, anyway, I got to do better at it, but I do appreciate it.
You're great.
Since Moody got on me about it a couple of weeks ago, I've made this like huge effort to not look at my phone anymore during the show.
Good. Thank you.
It's just a matter of being professional. But Neil Francis tomorrow, shout out Stu Feiner, Tyler Moody, appreciate everything, and Dude Wipes. We'll be back 9 o'clock tomorrow with Neil Francis in studio. Let's go have a hell of a Wednesday, boys.
Love you.
What's up, fellas? As y'all know, it's been a hell of a messy year. And the only thing messier than my online history are my big old fat sweaty dumps. That's why this season, I only trust Dude Wipes to handle my Mississippi mud pies.
Oh, Mintzy, you're cooking now. Ooh, wait.
When you're hot, you're hot.